G'day folks, Spackman here. Bloody stoked to be here with you as we try and hunt down the perfect day in Legend League. That is right, with Royal Ghosts and Royalbats as they are right now. They're just so OP, so powerful. The ability to get a perfect day is just so much easier than it once was, and for me, is actually achievable. And I almost got there yesterday. Let's have a look. That's right, guys. So yesterday, if I can bring it up, 282 on offense, 4 triples and 4 time fails. Some really, really close hits across the board. And defensively, I got tripled once, but also had a guy who forgot half his army when he attacked me. So, thank your mother for the rabbits for that one. Anyway, I will show some of the attacks from that. I have had one attack today, and 88%, although it does seem low, was actually a time fail, but most of the bats got whittled away. I only just got down the last defense, and I only had one archer left to help the cleanup. There was just no chance it was getting done. One of the key problems with this strategy, let's bring up the first one against Shrez Lovers, a bit of a Ready fan over here. One of the key problems with this strategy is the amount of time it takes for the Royal Ghost to be dropped and effectively hit their various targets. And, obviously it takes 12 seconds for them to effectively become visible and then be attacked. And if you end up going at the same place, it's like 12 seconds and 12 seconds again. And there's a bit of an art to it, and I consider myself pretty decent at it, but no expert. Did bring it to war recently, actually, which I'll show in a video later on in the week, and 90% 2-star and a triple in that. So I am really, really liking this attack, although it's very broken, and I'm glad it's not around forever. And this one here, standard sort of Legend League base, obviously. With the bats, I basically get down everything I can. So they take down the Queen, the Town Hall, the Wizard and Inferno Towers, everything sort of on the right of the base. The Wall Wrecker alongside the heroes, take all of this, so many skeletons and archers, bring them all over. The witches go down in a second as well, and they come in and deal with this final Wizard and Inferno Tower on the left here. And in the end, I don't quite get the Eagle down, and getting the Eagle down with this Royal Bat strategy is key, very important. If you don't, you then need to make sure it's one of the very first things you take down once you do drop the bats, and that the Eagle Artillery has something else to target instead of the bats, because its damage just completely obliterates the bats so quickly. I've seen so many hits looking like they were going to triple be just undone by a simple Royal Eagle Artillery blast. So a few bats on that final Inferno Tower there, a few ghosts on the final Inferno Tower, bats being dropped now that the Eagle's focusing on the heroes. And it almost does target the bats, but they manage to fight through and get through these defenses in time and get inside the Eagle's range, take it down, then just mass freeze on that Inferno, and there's no chance for it to be done. This raid in particular, I think more than any of the others, is really overkill. As you can see, and there's a number of Royal Ghosts just being dropped right at the end that weren't really needed. Really comfortable and confident victory there. Now this next one, I'll bring it up, and we'll try and talk through it a little bit slower in terms of the actual strategy involved in it against heroes here. Now this is a base I don't recall seeing before, probably decently common, most of Legend bases are. But what I saw here, what I normally try and do is figure out the best path to start off for my heroes and my Wrecker to then go through and get as much splash damage as possible. And in that path, I effectively saw I could go the left-hand side, sort of at this Archer Tower here at the Town Hall, or the right-hand side at the same thing. And in doing that, I would get the 2 nearby Wizard Towers on each side. Well, I end up deciding to go with on the left. So in doing that, I would get this Wizard Tower, that Wizard Tower, and also the Inferno Tower there. Plus, they would deal with the Clan Castle and the enemy Queen, which is pretty key. And my Royal Ghosts, their job, because there are so many, their job is to clear up this top section and take down the Town Hall, of course. And then on the right hand side, deal with this bottom wizard tower as they're just about to now. Their wizard tower at what, about 4:30, which they've already done. The one at 3 o'clock or 2:30, and then the Inferno on the right hand side as well. And in the end, I also use them once this area's been cleared up to help take down the eagle just before I drop my bats. I do hold my bats for quite some time just to make sure I get everything down. As I mentioned, the eagle can be disastrous. So I did use also a few royal ghosts on the left to help funnel there for the main part of my army here. And that was a interesting warden ability. I guess I did it so that my queen would survive a little bit longer as she was being smoked by everything here. Use her ability, but because of the ground expos around, she also gets targeted pretty soon as well. But she does last a little bit longer. She's close to being on her last legs though. Now, despite all of this going on while I was waiting, because there aren't many spells that need to be used to sort of keep the main army going, you don't need to look too closely at it. I was dropping a few more ghosts here and there, took down the town hall, and now a final few in the center here to get this eagle down, and we will then drop the bats to finish everything off. What was really nice about this base is that one freeze can hit both of the Inferno Tower and the Wizard Tower. So we just drop one freeze, then the second freeze, and then the third freeze right on the face of the Wizard Tower and the Inferno. The sweeper there really helpful in getting all the bats onto the Wizard Tower, as it was looking a little bit dicey in terms of where the bats were going to end up pathing. So thankfully that all worked out for me. And again, a couple ghosts at the end just to help clean up, get everything done in the end. This one here had plenty of time on the clock, so comfortable victory again there. As I said, Royalbats, they're too powerful. And this is a strategy that people are learning just off the fly so easy, and there's not too. Let's request a clan castle while we're here. Now, the final replay for the video, as I said, there were a number of triples, but we don't need to watch them all. Very common Legend League base here, very common. Now, if I remember this attack correctly, I get huge value with my Wrecker and my heroes. And I decide to bring them in from 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, coming in to deal with effectively the Infernos in the center, as I try and use my Ghost to deal with the Wizard Towers as well as the Town Hall. Because I noticed that obviously down here we have a single target Inferno. That was the reason why I decided to have my heroes come from the top. And as you can see, I've made a really strong funnel here with the Ghosts, and I end up using them to take the Queen down as well, just so that she doesn't bother my main squad as it enters the base. And as I mentioned earlier, look at that. They can't target the Queen for the life of them. I'm telling you, she was in range right there. She was in range, and the Ghosts are just like, nah, not hearing about it. None of your business, mate. I'm going to do what I want. Finally get her down, though. We drop the Wrecker. I normally drop the Ice Golem a tiny bit before the Wrecker to give the Wrecker a little bit more life in getting into the base. It means if I need to use the Warden ability, I can hold on to that Warden ability a little bit longer. And now that I've dropped that and all of the heroes, I then start dealing with this top section here, so that the Clan Castle gets lured at the same time as these are entering the base, and the Poison can deal with all of that, and the Rage can kind of deal with everything at once. It's just so a lot of mayhem going on, Warden ability there, and in the end, these guys get huge value. As you can see, they're still going through. And all this was an Ice Golem, the Wrecker, and the heroes. There's not much there, really. And they end up getting well into the second half of the base here. Deal with the Eagle, deal with the two Wizard Towers there. Just epic value. And as you can see here, the last splash damage on the entire base is down. Now, I have 3 freezes here. I was so tempted about 2/3 into this bats to just swag all 3 of them. And I thought, that's just dumb. Let's not be a bozo, and let's use the freezes to make sure that we don't actually somehow mess up this triple, because it can easily happen. So I decided, all right, we'll use the spells, and I end up just sort of slamming them here, there, everywhere, just to make sure that we definitely had the triple secured. Very important is, I mean, swagging's all good and fun, but you don't want to actually, like, you see people miss hits because of this, and it's just not worth it. Not worth it. I think in one of our hits in the war, someone happened to drop everything at the end as it looks like it was a done deal. But then one of the ghosts happened to activate a tornado spell and every bat just died. So it's not worth it. Better to be smart, better to be careful. Well, that's it, guys. The Royalbats, insanely powerful, on the way to getting a perfect day. Obviously, the perfect day is not going to be today. But it could be tomorrow, it could be the day after, but I will hit it before the ghost is removed once again from the game, as it should be. It's too powerful. Now, thank you guys for sticking around if you're still here. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and share this with any of your mates or anything who you think might benefit or just might appreciate the content. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.